Oh, everyone take a deep breath. It is Monday. Stand by while I go live on Instagram. Okay, we're live on Facebook and Instagram, and it's another Monday, and you all made it. You all made it through your weekend with children during summer break, so congratulations for that. I'm going to talk about some stuff tonight. So those of you who answered my questions on my stories and on Facebook about if you have date nights regularly, if you have kids, if you're married, if you're in a relationship, if you have date nights, I wanted to know what you guys do, because this is something I think a lot of couples talk about. I think a lot of couples struggle with, to find the time to get out and be without the children, even though we all need it and want it. It's logistically hard, it's financially hard, babysitters are not cheap, going out is not cheap. And so I wanted to know, I wanted honest answers of if people were doing regular date nights, what they were doing, if they felt guilt about getting sitters. My situation, I never feel guilty about getting sitters. The reason I feel guilty about the whole babysitter thing is because I share custody of my older daughter with my ex-husband. And so when she's with me, which is only half of the weekends, I feel guilty getting a sitter and leaving her with a sitter because I don't get 24 hours a day, 7 days a week with her. So it's really more about her. I have the guilt about it. But I don't think you should have guilt about getting a babysitter. People should be able to get babysitters. Mine is just my own neuroses. And I'm admitting it, I'm owning it. So here's some of the stuff I got a lot of no's. When I asked people if they do regular date nights, the overwhelming majority, everyone was like, nope, don't have time. Babysitters are expensive. Somebody answered that babysitters are $20 to $25 an hour. Where do you live? Because I feel like I live in a fairly middle to upper class area, and we do not pay $20 to $25 an hour for babysitters. So I need to know, is that Manhattan? Because that would make sense. When I lived in New York, that's what it was. But in most places, what do you guys pay for sitters? If you're listening, I need to know what you pay for sitters a month, because an hour, because we do not pay $25 an hour for babysitters. So that could definitely be, Lynn, $15 tops for me. Yeah. And I think it depends how many kids. I think the average price here is $15 an hour. But anyway, I get really ragey and salty and annoyed with my husband if we don't spend time together outside of the kids. And it's not about him. It's just that we don't have that time to connect and be together. And I like my husband. I wouldn't have married him if I didn't like him. We pay 12 to 15 an hour. Right. I had done a survey on this before in stories, and there were plenty of people who said they do one to do date nights a year. That's so low. $5. Wait, Dip Girl, you pay $5 an hour for a babysitter? I will fly your babysitter down here and pay her $5 an hour. That's insane. All right. Yeah, most people are saying between 10 and 15 an hour. Anyway, so I'm going to start out by saying I'm not trying to spend your money. I'm not telling you have to go on date nights, but I liked the answers I got were really interesting, because some people do the whole traditional, let's go out to dinner and have a date night and spend the money. But a few people had really interesting ideas. But let's be real. I'm going to be very serious not serious, but very honest for a second. If you do not spend time with your boyfriend, girlfriend, spouse, whatever you have going on, your domestic situation, if you don't spend time away from your children and connect with them emotionally and physically, and like sit at a table across from each other without children throwing iPads at each other, and have sex when you get home and do all these things, then your relationship is absolutely going to feel different. Because everyone that answered, some were anonymous about it, said that if they don't connect with their partners, their relationships absolutely feels it. And kids are fucking hard. Kids are hard. Motherhood's hard. And so we need to like our spouses, not love. Love, I don't know if this is a popular opinion or unpopular opinion. I think it's very easy to fall in love with someone, because love is this like all-encompassing, sweep you off your feet emotion. I think it's much more difficult to like somebody. If you don't like the person that you're with, it is very hard to want to spend time with them. I genuinely want to spend time with my husband. We are so busy. Everybody is. We are so busy. It's craziness, but you have to make the time. And we're guilty of it too. I think, do a date night maybe, and this is being generous, maybe once a month. We spend a lot of time together. When the kids go to bed, we always watch TV together, we hang out, we have dinner together, but it's very hard to get out of our house, and we have an impossible toddler. My mom always told me to keep up date nights because once the kids leave the house, marriage is lost. My parents went out every single Saturday night and still do. I think that is awesome. Marriage could be lost if you don't stay connected. 100%. I agree with you. And I think some people don't make it a priority, not because they don't want to make it a priority, but our kids suck everything out of us. And it's easy to use that as an excuse. And I'm truly not. It's just real life. Everything kind of falls to the wayside. And this is going to be another unpopular opinion. I love my husband. I adore him. I'm a mother first. And he knows that. And I think that's one of the things he loves about the way that I parent our children is that my children come first when they're around. However, that being said, you have to take the time to connect with your partner. Otherwise, it sucks. And you're right. Whoever just said when the kids leave the house and you're stuck with each other, if you don't make that time to build your relationship, it's not going to be fun when the kids are gone. You're going to sit like old people on the porch sipping country time lemonade or whatever old people do and like look at each other like you're strangers. Best advice when I became a parent, make date night once a week, twice a month a priority. It's probably the only reason I'm still married, but it's true. Oh my God, I was just commenting on your post. Carol, which one? Oh, about date night? You can chime in here. Kim, new goal, make date night a priority. So I think we should all try and let's say it out loud to the universe, because then you're accountable. We're going to make date night a priority. That is true, because otherwise I will put myself or my husband last. Yep. All right. So here's what some people said. This was from Instagram. When I asked if they do date night, this person said a must. We used to and still do as our daughters are grown every Saturday night. That was like a very popular thing. A lot of people went out on Saturday nights and had a sitter every Saturday night. Now that my toddler is getting older, I'm much more comfortable leaving her with a sitter. When she was smaller, bedtime was impossible. Now it's getting a little bit easier, and so it's better to do that. My mom said she pays $25 in the house because I'm a lot of work. Oh, I don't know what that's. I don't know what you're talking. I think that's not someone who should be commenting. Country time lemonade, wine for the win. Yes. Speaking of, cheers to all of you. All right. Typically Saturday nights ever since kids were born, unless no sitter or grandparent. That was another thing. A lot of people rely on family because family is free, unless they're assholes and they charge you. But family is free to babysit. And so a lot of people rely on that. And if you don't have family near you, it's very difficult. And some people don't want to pay for a sitter, and I get it. Physical connection is important too. 100% physical. Tell me that if you're in a marriage, relationship, whatever you're in, tell me that if you go however long it is, whatever, it's different for everyone, a week, a month, a year, whatever it is, that you don't have sex or you're not intimate with each other, tell me that your relationship isn't different and I will show you a liar. You don't have to do anything, but it's much more fun when you enjoy your spouse's company, physically, emotionally, all of it. All right. Regularly with no guilt, take side by side of our favorite bar and grill because we live in the sticks. Oh, that was Dip Girl. You told me you go in the woods sometimes, like you hang out in the woods. What are you doing in the woods? Because you've been married a long time, so whatever you're doing is working. Date night is movies with the kids. He's home during the day, so we do stuff like eat lunch. So that was the other thing. A lot of people told me they did not necessarily do date night, but one girl I know on Facebook, one of my friends said that her husband is off every Friday. So every Friday during the day, they have a day date, and that is awesome. And there was someone else on here I want to read. I have to find it though. Someone said, of course not. I have 2 toddlers. Oh, that was Mimosas with Moms, my girls. I know, I feel you. We have home date nights or go out when family visits. The hub schedule's a mess. It's so hard. It is like, I think navigating everybody's schedules is probably the biggest challenge. What's a date night? I feel like once the robbery of daycare bills will end, we will try. And that's the thing too, is that if you have little ones and you're paying for a nanny or daycare or all of those things, it gets expensive to then justify having a sitter. What do you think we're doing in the woods? Catching fireflies? No, I mean, you are marriage goals. You are hanging out in the woods, doing married things, and you've been married how many years? 12, right? Is that what you told me? Happy anniversary. You're doing it right, sister. All right. So here's some of the things I got from Oh, can Dip Girl, tell me if I can read your DM publicly. If I can, I will. Otherwise, I won't. I'll wait for you to answer. Okay. So here's from Facebook. My husband has Fridays off, so we do date nights on Friday afternoon. I love that idea. Day dates are highly underrated. Agree. It's fun to do even more of the kids stuff during these times, like go to the zoo or a theme park. One of the best ways to use 4 or 8 hours of PTO, in my opinion. So that's the other thing. Like, you don't, it doesn't have to be at night. There was a couple times that my husband and I we went once to Disney without the kids for the Epcot Food and Wine Festival and just drank and ate with no children. It was a little weird at first, like looking at all the rides going, my kids aren't with me. They probably would be so mad if they knew that I was here. But honestly, like, it's good to do some of those things without children. It really is. There's no shame. Okay. This is from my friend Dip Girl. We go on date night as regularly as possible. We both work in industrial jobs, so scheduling it is iffy at best. We don't feel guilt because it's drastically improved our life as a couple. Preach, sister. We just celebrated our anniversary yesterday. We've been together for 12 years, and that is awesome. We usually take our side-by-side to our favorite bar or grill, just hang out in the woods like a couple of hillbillies because we live in the sticks of way upper Michigan. And some days, the kid will go to the in-laws and we'll sit in the garage, jam to some tunes, have some beers, and order pizza. But you probably have the best time. And that's the whole point of this. I think that everyone hears date night and they're like, oh, I can't afford a sitter. I can't go out to dinner. They're getting beer and sitting in the woods and like sitting in their garage and probably enjoying each other's company even more. So mix it up a little bit. It doesn't always have to be like a fancy thing. We never do date nights, but once in a blue moon, we do date errands to Lowe's. So I have a friend who actually, her and her husband, when they have a chance to like be alone together, they'll go to dinner, but then they'll end up at like Target or Home Depot, and they don't care. They're not mad about it. They're just happy to be with each other and not having their kids grab stuff off of like the shelves and throw it in the shopping cart. So you do what works for you. No guilt. We try and do it every week, but no less than every other week. Babysitters are gifts. If we ever hit a period of time where we miss our dates, we definitely feel the disconnect. The key date is to have this was a really good idea. The key date is to get a sitter at 4 p.m., have an early dinner, catch a 7 p.m. movie, and then get home early enough to not be exhausted the next day, but late enough that the kids are asleep. I don't know why I never thought of that, but that is actually genius. Or mix it up and go to an earlier movie, go to like a 5 o'clock movie, if that even exists, and then have dinner after and you're still home early. That is like so my style. I can get behind that if we do it that way. Every Sunday night, zero guilt. Sometimes our kids are even with our exes and we just do house dates, adult time and dinner in bed. You said hear it all, right? Yes, I did say hear it all. I swear to God, if we get into a fight, we can pause and say, oh crap, we haven't had a date night in 2 weeks. That's why. It's so true. And I noticed that too. I feel like when I get very, very agitated, not at my husband, but just at life in general, and I take it out on my husband, it's because we haven't spent that time together, or it's because the kids are driving me nuts, or both. I mean, it's real life. Okay. I don't feel guilty getting a sitter, but have general lack of good options. The grandparents are losing their ability to keep up, in my opinion, and the local teens tend to be flaky. We have started to take advantage of local places that offer parents' night out. I'd say our current rate is 1 date night every 3 to 4 months, which is pretty pathetic once I write it out and see it. That's another really good idea, though. We have that here, too. There's a bunch of like kids play spaces or little kids museums and stuff that offer parents night out where you could drop your kids off and it's like $5 or $10. They give them pizza, they play games, and you have like 2 or 3 hours where you can go out with your person. And I think that's awesome. This was another good idea. Do you have colleges nearby? Many have babysitting books. I never knew that, which is probably online at this point, but the sitters tend to be mature and are looking to make money. So that's good too. If you're in a place where you're surrounded by local universities, go for like the people who are majoring in like education and actually want to be around children, because you know they'll probably be a better fit than someone who just wants to like do things like sell their plasma for money. Do people still do that? When I was in college, people sold their plasma, like donated blood and plasma to make money. That was their income. Absolutely no guilt. We do something every week. Luckily, we have an au pair and worked it into her schedule. We usually do date nights, but sometimes we break away for a day date. Since we started this, it made a huge improvement in our relationship because we have some quiet, kid-free time together. We also take one big trip a year without them too for the same effect. And that is, we have not traveled without our children. A couple little things here and there, but we are, next year when I have a conference in California, we are going to go out early together and have a little vacation, because when the last time we really had a solid vacation alone was our honeymoon. And I've been married for over 4 years, so that's not good. All right, this was, I thought, a really, really good idea. My husband and I have been together for 22 years. So listen up, people, because 22 years is a long time. So clearly she's doing something right. And we don't do date nights. He hates going out, so I do dinner dates with my friends with zero guilt instead. We do, however, sit down at the kitchen table every day just to chat. The kids are shooed away if they try to interrupt. That is our time to connect. When we go a few days without doing that, I feel very disconnected. I know we're good if we can sit and talk and laugh and give each other shit. Same goes if we go too long without having sex. Once we screw again, we're good. It's true. It's so true. And I love the fact that she said that she's not going out to dinner. She uses time to go to dinner with her girlfriends, which that is the best. That is the absolute best. But they still found a way to like connect, make it work, and make the kids leave them alone. And I think that's awesome. We started the one trip last year. We take our side-by-side riding out west and drop, wait, what's a side-by-side? Because I don't know. I know you live in the sticks, and don't laugh at me. Riding out west and drop the small human off at my sister's in South Dakota works out perfect. That is perfect. We didn't have a sitter for date nights for several months, and I felt so disconnected. Recently, we've been going out weekly, and it has made a tremendous difference in our relationship. We love family time and being with our kids, but we find that it's important to be able to have an adult meal and conversation regularly. I feel no guilt about going out anymore. I'm a better parent and human when I have balance. That is 100% accurate. We don't get regular date nights, but anytime we get to do anything without the kids, it's refreshing. We always laugh and instantly connect. Even had someone stop us in the grocery store parking lot to ask how long we've been dating. We were like, we've been married for, 5, 6, 7 years at a time. The person was shocked and commented on how rare it is to see married people be so carefree. I always have sitter guilt, though. I feel like asking anyone else to watch my kids is inconveniencing them, especially if they don't charge. And families far away, so parents watching them is a rare luxury. When younger unmarried siblings do, we pay them. And I'm a stay-at-home mom, so throwing cash at a sitter so we can go spend more money isn't exactly budget friendly, but you're still doing it. Okay, oh boy, if a Jeep and a four-wheeler had a love child. All right, I need to see a picture. Okay. Carol, my friend Carol said side by side, isn't that a motorcycle with a side seat, like a sidecar? Is that what that is? Like what Tom, do you guys watch Vanderpump Rules when they opened Tom Tom and they pulled up in the thing with the sidecar? I don't think that's what you're talking about. We did our first date night. Oh, these are all from my wine tribe. Hashtag wine tribe on Facebook if you want in. What's a date night? LOL. We actually need to do one soon. Can't remember the last time. See, I'm sparking some memories for people here, so you're welcome. We just did our first one in a long time, and it was nice. Definitely hard to get out of the day-to-day kid routine and talk about life and fun stuff when you're not used to. And that's another thing too. Thank you, Cheryl. You don't know what a side-by-side is either. Us city folk don't get it. How many of you go out to dinner and you finally get like time alone and you sit and you're like, oh my God, let me show you this video of what my kid did today to your husband or your wife or your partner, whoever. Like, that's the thing too, is you have to get used to not constantly talking about your kids and talk about adult things. How can I do this so everyone can see it? It must be a Midwest thing. I'll figure it out when you get everyone's post in. I don't know. I think there's a way in the comments to send a picture. I think you can send me a picture. And if you do, I'll post it. I'll try to. I don't know. I'm afraid to Google side-by-side. Is a side-by-side the same thing as a gator? Oh my God, you guys are like talking another language. What's a gator? Isn't a gator like a tractor? Okay, haven't had one in a few weeks, and we just scheduled our next one with my mom. She's the only one I'll leave my 4-month-old with so far on August 9th. Right, on August 9th, and we're in July. That's what we do as mothers. We're like scheduling months out. We're really lucky, and I'm super grateful. My mother-in-law, who I adore, lives in our in-law apartment, so we get date nights pretty regularly. You are very lucky. I don't feel guilty because unless it's a wedding or a special function, we don't usually put our youngest to bed first. We usually put our youngest to bed and head out first. What's a date night? 3 kids under 5, 1 nursing, and 0 family friends. Oh, girl, when I was nursing, I was not going on date nights because I did not want to bring a pump with me. I didn't want to sit there and worry about my boobs leaking everywhere. Like that's a rough time. Are you talking about an ATV? It's a UTV. I don't even know what you guys are saying right now. What's a date night? Oh wait, I can say that already. Sorry. We actually had our second date night in 5 years a couple weeks ago. Oh, sorry about that, guys. It doesn't like all the talk about side-by-sides. That's really what's going on. I might have to hold this in my hand. Okay. We actually had our second date night 5 years ago, blah, blah, blah. Dive bar, darts. Jesus. All right, we're just going to hold it. Dive bar, darts, and too many shots for me. Hashtag mom's gone wild. It was weird at first to try and find something to talk about other than kids. See? But we found our groove again and had a blast. What exactly is a date night? A lot of you started the conversation that way, so that's hilarious. Asking for a friend. I'm the friend. We try and go out alone for our birthdays and anniversary, but we float those holidays like the hex often. Thanks, Valentine's Day and our 10-year anniversary are still floating. Yeah, and you say like, I'll do it later. We need to make time for these. This is like city mouse, country mouse. Carol, it is. Carol, do you know what a UTV is? All right. So here's the consensus is that some of us are doing a really good job, not me, at date nights, but I'm going to tell you that this has spurred me to now want to book a sitter for maybe not every Saturday night, but maybe every other Saturday night. I'm going to try and commit to do that. And I want you guys to, whatever it looks like for you, whatever date night looks for you, whether it's staying home, getting a sitter, doing the day date thing, whatever it is, let's like try it. Let's make a pact together. What's that thing that you used to do in high school? There was like a promise thing that you would swear to be a virgin until you graduated. Wasn't there some kind of program like that clearly many of us did not follow? But let's make a pact that we are going to try and do better with date night. And then we will reconvene in a few weeks, maybe a month, and talk about it again and see how everybody's doing. I have earbuds in to watch this and I'm laughing out loud and my husband is side-eyeing me. Tell your husband to chill out, that you're explaining to the city folk what a side-by-side is. Just tell him to calm down, all right? And tell him I said happy anniversary. So that's our date night. That's our date night chat. I'm very excited to see what happens and where we go from here. My vent sesh is super, super short. And I just want to bring this up and I want to make a public plea to people who package food. What the fuck goes on with serving sizes? Why do I feel like every time I open a bag of chips, cookies, snacks, healthy or not, the serving size is like a fraction of whatever it is? Who is making these things and why do I have to follow them? And why can't we just have normal, like, I don't know if you guys tried those dang sticky rice snacks? They make coconut ones too, but I'm addicted to these. They sell them at Whole Foods and some regular grocery stores too, but they're little sticky rice cakes, crunchy cakes. They're like healthier. And to me, a bag that's like a family size bag, it's like a joke. It's like a family size bag of Lay's. I can't live like this. I need there to be some realistic serving size situations. Don't tell me that I can have one Oreo and it's like 500 calories. It's not worth it. It's stupid. Okay. That was it. That was my whole vent sesh. I want to thank my show sponsor. And if you guys follow my stories, I post about them a lot because I am genuinely obsessed. I get deliveries every Monday from Skinnyish. On Instagram, it's Skinnyish Miami. And on Facebook, I tag them at Skinny Soup. And it's all the stuff that I really don't care about. Gluten, paleo, whatever the buzzwords is. I don't even buy food like that regularly, but I love her stuff so much that I eat it during the week. That's my lunch almost every day. I eat something from her. Soup, salad bowls, all that stuff. It's healthy. It's delicious. Her sauces I'm like licking the containers. So check her out. And if you're not in Florida, I'm sorry, but she delivers from South Beach to West Palm every week and it's delicious. So check it out. Hi, Jessica. All right, guys, that's all I have for you tonight. I started my Pilates journey. I've never done Pilates in my life. I started it last week. I'm still sore, so I know that it's working. And I'm hoping, oh, look, I have a little bit of a muscle there. You can't see it on Instagram. Guys, that's from my one Pilates class. I started a Pilates journey because I'm really trying to, ever since kidney stone gate, I'm trying to be much more conscious and healthier, even though I'm pretty healthy-ish. I'm not like crazy. I don't go off the deep end, but I am trying. So my Pilates journey with Club Pilates in Boca, I have started a partnership with them. So I'm going to be sharing real life stories from what goes down there. And you know me, I keep it real. You're going to hear the good, the bad, and the ugly. But all I know is that I took a class last week at the end of the week, and I'm still sore. Now his brow is furrowed and wondering how people don't know what a UTV is. We live in the Great White North and there's nothing else to do up here. Right. So if he saw where we live, where I live, he would probably be like, what goes on here? What is happening? Because that no one, I promise you, people don't know what that is here. He can furrow his brow all he wants. Jessica, sorry I'm late to the party. It's been a day. Listen, I have my wine poured. It's been a day. It's always a day here too. I feel you. All right. So stay tuned for my Pilates journeys, my Pilates stories. And if you want some entertainment tonight, you can check out my last couple stories. I did an episode of Cooking with Rach where I made a shrimp dish that I had no intention of making. I just didn't have any of the stuff for what I thought I was going to make. And my husband perjured himself on camera. So you can go enjoy that and me calling him out. Everyone have a great week. And I will see you all next week. And let's start doing regular date nights and let's see what happens. I want to hear back. Report back to the class. Bye, everyone.